Hello fans of the project. I'm here in the garage working on the three-wheeler. Working on the B-3, and it has been a long time since I've done any kind of update for you folks that are fans of this project, so I thought tonight I would spend a little bit explaining what I've been doing to it and how it's progressing. As you can see, it's in a different state than it was in the last expositional update. You can see also that the engine is out. I don't know if I have any video of that, but if I do, I'll try to edit some down. To get the engine out, I used that fantastic Harbor Freight sourced engine crane right there. My collapsible engine crane that was a combined birthday and Christmas present for my girlfriend. It helped get that thing out pretty easily. You'll notice that right here we have, if you've seen my last video, you know that I like to rock climb. This is an old piece of retired climbing sling that served pretty well with a climbing carabiner down there that is absolutely going to get rescued and put back on the climbing rack. But the engine had to come out because I wanted to fabricate the firewall, and I couldn't do it with the engine in there, obviously. And you will also notice, I think, that the frame has paint on it up to about the seat rail or so. And you will also notice that there are floors in, these floors and the firewall all being of the same material, which is a 50 thousandths thick 6061 T6 aluminum that I got from Aircraft Spruce and Specialty. There are some remnants right there that are going to get turned into the cover for the drive shaft tunnel right there. You'll notice that of course the dashboard is out, and that it's up there on top of those two round aluminum cans, which I should add are going to get turned into cycle fenders at some point for the front of this thing. And you'll notice as well that the front suspension is off. There are my fabulous front wheels, which are I'm going to get rid of those 165 SR14 tires. I'm going to put on 165 6014s because they'll fit inside the cycle fenders better, and they're modern tires too. So the front suspension, though, let's go through this thing a bit here. What I did, I'll take one of these out. That's looking real pretty, isn't it? All nicely painted silver Rust-Oleum, and I don't know, I'd never done a real exposition on these before, but they were on there in the bare steel in kind of an unfinished state, and this bottom plate here was a straight across flat. So what I did was I whipped out the gas torches and cut an arch in it that made it look a little better, and then I gusseted. You can see that there's a plate welded to the back of the arms there. I gusseted the bottom of the control arm because it just made me feel better. I do have those two little welds there at the bends, and I was thinking about it, and I thought, well, a little extra strength in that joint wouldn't hurt, even though I'm confident that the welds are good. And then I took and I painted all of it this dashing Rust-Oleum silver, and that's how they're going to stay. You can see the upper control arms are in there too. That's how they're going to stay until I reassemble the front suspension. Because the next time I put the front suspension on, it ain't coming off no more. And the next time I put that engine back in, it ain't coming out no more. Unless I blow it up or something. But the firewall here I did, like I said, it's a sheet of 6061 T6 aluminum. And it's held on with 89 rivets and black Permatex adhesive sealant on the back, and it's looking pretty good. It wasn't too bad fabricating it. I cut it out with my saber saw, my little scroll saw, and then I used my Dremel to massage a few holes there to make it fit, and then drilled it. And one tool I bought that I have to say has been key in making all these holes happen is this little right angle drill head here. It has a hex bit. The bits kind of flop around, but it actually drills really well. And when it's hooked into my fantastic Makita hammer drill, it works really well, and it helped me, as you can see, some of these, like for instance these two right here, and some of these that are especially close, like right in here underneath the rail, it helped me get into those. It helped me. The floors up at these ends here, they are attached with they're not right into the tube, as you can see that they're a little back from the tube. They're into some 61 T6 aluminum angle. Oh, apparently the paint on some of those is still wet. How about that? But they're attached to some angle. I don't know if I can show it to you right now, but it's up underneath. Oh, well, right here you can see a bit of it showing behind the passenger side floor. And I just completed attachment of the passenger side floor about a half hour ago, and was considering my options for covering the drive shaft tunnel, which is absolutely going to be 6061 T6 aluminum. I did a little experiment in metal forming on this piece right here, where I made this is like a mock-up side plate for the drive shaft tunnel, like so, with a with a flange at this end so that it can be riveted to the tube right there, and then it's going to be riveted to the tubes in the drive shaft tunnel, just like the floors are riveted to the tubes in the floor. So what I'm going to do is make 3 pieces. Side pieces that have a bent flange at the bottom to rivet to the floor. They'll rivet to the tubes and rivet to here, and then a top piece that's wide enough to bend over down over the side, so I don't have a sharp edge here to rub my leg or my girlfriend's leg against. But that's basically what the floors and the firewall are. What I've been absolutely working on the last couple of weeks. I should talk about the brakes a little bit, because I had a bit of an epiphany. And at one point I was going to use a Jetta master cylinder, and that's the master cylinder that's been on this thing for the longest time. But I always had in the back of my mind the thought that, well, that Jetta master cylinder was for power brakes, and I don't know what size the piston is, and it might be too big for the MGB brakes, and it might be like stepping on a block of wood, and I might have to put 2 feet on it to get the thing to stop at all, and I don't know what it's going to do with the rear motorcycle caliper, and blah, 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 blah. So, thinking it through, I finally got serious about figuring out my pedal ratios and my area ratios between the master cylinder piston and the MGB caliper pistons. Oh, and I took the MGB calipers all apart, and they're getting rebuilt. But what I figured was, since this thing's a motorcycle, nominally, it should have separate braking systems, just like a motorcycle has, and I, the driver, will be the proportioning valve. But in the reverse of motorcycle practice, I will have a foot pedal that pushes this, that operates this master cylinder, which is a Speedway Motors sourced Willwood 3/4 inch bore master cylinder. The stock MGB non-servo master cylinder is 3/4 inch, so it's going to run my 2 front MGB calipers real nice like. And then, what I discovered by perusing the technical boards on Intruder Alert, hi to all my Intruder Alert friends, is that this caliper here, this is a caliper from a LC 1500 or Boulevard C90 Cruiser, and as you can see, it is a big 4-piston caliper. There's 2 pistons on the inside, 2 pistons on the outside, and it fits right on the VS 1400 brake bracket. Unfortunately though, it's so long and so wide, and because the LC 1500 has a single shock rear end, it won't fit behind the shock absorbers on the on the Intruder 1400 rear end. So what I had to make this, it's a little hard to see in here, I had to make this bracket. It's not really a bracket, it's more like a strut. I had to make the strut that would rotate the Intruder 1400 brake bracket rearwards so that the caliper would clear the shock, and it works pretty well, in all honesty. I mean, the sides are 1/8 inch steel, and the boxing is 1/16 inch steel. It's got a it's got a piece of tube welded in down here so that I can put the stock strut stop down there, and then it's got a splits up at the top end. There's a 1/2-inch bolt right there that fits, or actually that's what is it? It's 625 that fits right through that hole real nice. So and then I thought, well, you know, I can't operate that off the car master cylinder, that'll be too big. So what I did was I went and I bought this master cylinder right here from Pinwall Cycle Parts. This is the master cylinder from an M109 Suzuki M109 Cruiser. It happens to be the same piston diameter as the one that's on the LC1500 and operates that 4-piston brake real nice. And what I figured was, well, I'll run it with my hand. And I made this lever out of 1-inch steel tubing. It's a fabricated lever. It's got the arm, the pivot right here. This is a 1/2-inch bolt that works the master cylinder with my, it's a little hard to see, I know, but it works the master cylinder and the system. There's the remote reservoir right there, the hose is going down, and it works real nice like. And it so happens that that brake lever is in such position as that I can work the brake with the heel of my hand and downshift with my fingers pushing on the lever. So I think that'll, and of course, me being me, once I got the idea in my head that I was going to have a handbrake and it would be even more 1920s vibe than anybody could possibly want, I had to do it. So that's the story of the brakes right now. Let's see, what else can we talk about here? Oh, I've got gauges in the dash, but the dashboard's up there in the pile, as you can see, and I'm not taking it down right now. But the big news is the brakes and the floors and the paint, which is a significant milestone. I still keep telling people that I think I can have this thing running in 3 months, but I've been saying that for at least a month. So I think 3 months has turned into 4 months. But, and as one of my climbing buddies said, oh, so you mean 6 months, right? Well, but I think today is June 25th, 2012. I think I can be driving this thing at the end of August if I skip a few things like the cycle fenders and the floors for this trunk area back here, and a few other things. But maybe if you say that the end of summer is September 21st, then I'm confident I can have it running by the end of summer. I'm just hoping I can take it to a couple of cruise nights and maybe the Lions Club car show that Milford puts on every year. But at any rate, that's the update for today, and I'll try not to be such a stranger about doing updates about the B-3. Take it easy.